It's about time with Rashawn's About Time Boxing, aka Mr. Trill 100 Mil. What's up to my About Time Boxing family and the Trill 100 Mil gang? Thank you to every single one of y'all who has been supporting the channel, who has been taking out the time to watch the videos, like the videos, share the videos, and leave the comments. If you have not already subscribed to the channel and you're watching this video or any of my videos for the first time, please subscribe to the channel. Encourage others to subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to hit the notification button to stay up on the latest with Rashawn's About Time Boxing. Donations, are welcome. If you would like to donate to the channel, please donate to the channel if you can. Donations are greatly appreciated. And for all the channels that I rock with and that I support will be in the description box below. So please check the description box for those channels, and please support and subscribe to those channels as well. All right, so Devin Haney and George Kambosos rematch. Now I'm gonna be honest. I don't think we're gonna see too much of a difference in the rematch, other than I feel like Devin is either going to dominate him even more in the rematch, or possibly even, stop him late in the fight. I don't see George Kambosos being able to make too many adjustments. I don't see him doing anything too dissimilar from what he tried to do in the first fight. But I did notice that in this, this go around, and I don't know if y'all, seen any of the, watch the press conference and, things like that. But if you look back at the first time they fought, George Kambosos was extremely arrogant. He was cocky. He was, talking about, oh, I'm giving you this opportunity. If it wasn't for me, you wouldn't be getting this shot, and all this stuff he was saying. Now, this go around, when you seeing at the press conference, the first time he in the ring, with a barber doing interviews, getting his hair cut in the ring and all that stuff. He in the boxing ring with a cape on, getting his hair clipped and all that. And, he had the press conference with suits on and, like, oh, he the man and all that. Now, this press conference for the rematch, come in there, regular. Sneakers on, coat, jacket or whatever. Humble. It's amazing what a good ass whooping to do to somebody. And that ass whooping that Devin Haney gave him humbled him. He was humbled by that ass whooping. Because in the first fight, you didn't hear him talk. He didn't talk about his kids like that. Now he's talking about his 3 kids and, being a role model to them. And, he talking about his Orthodox, like, I guess Orthodox Christian faith and all that. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you're going to be like that all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't, you wasn't like that the first go around. First go around, he was cocky, he was arrogant. That's why I was saying, like, it seemed like having those belts is like a curse for certain people. T.O. had the belts. He was cocky, arrogant, thought he was the man. He could write his own ticket and all that type of stuff. And he didn't even know how to use those belts to his advantage. I would have respected George Kambosos even more after he won the belts if he would have just said, you know what, a fight with Devin Haney would be further down the line. But he made himself look bad after he won the belts, and then he when Devin fought Jojo Diaz and he ran into Devin, and and Devin was like, he stepped to him like, yo, we gotta make this fight happen. And he was like, yeah, definitely, yeah, we're gonna make this fight happen, blah blah blah. But if you really didn't want to fight Devin right away, you should have just came out and said it. So all he had to say was, I hear what you're saying, but we're not going in your direction right away. Of course, people would have spoke about it and all that, and of course they would have tried to, oh, was George scared, blah blah blah, this, that, and the third. But you want to be able to, milk the belts for a while or whatever. But it seems like, people get those belts, don't hold on to them too long. Because even if Devin don't hold on to the belts that long, it's not going to be because he got beat. It's because he's going to vacate the belts and go up. He already forfeited the Ring Magazine lightweight title, which I don't blame him for doing. He's an undisputed champion. He's not even on the Ring Magazine pound for pound list. He holds the belt. The fighters of the past, Julio Cesar Chavez's, the Marvin Hagler, Sugar Ray Leonard, Tommy Hearns, Roberto Duran's, the Pernell Whitakers and all that. Your status was based on, your credentials, your belts. It was based on that then. But then you had guys like Max Kellerman who was saying the sanctioning bodies, the belts don't mean anything now. And these sanctioning bodies and these belts don't mean anything. It don't dictate this, don't dictate that. And then some of them blaming Floyd too, because they ever since Floyd, started, making everything about the money and this, that, and the third and all that. I put it to you like this. They go hand in hand. The credentials with the belts, because the belts give you the status, which puts you in a position to make the money. And the fighters are making the ultimate sacrifice. So there's other people that's in place who's making more money than the fighters, and the fighters is the ones putting on the show, risking their life and their health to entertain to entertain the public, and to give people like me and other people platforms to be able to speak about it. But when you got guys like Max Kellerman talking about belts don't mean anything now, but when realistically you're saying the belts don't mean anything based on who has them. In the way that they trying to make it seem like Devin having the undisputed title, like he's devaluing the belts. But if Lomachenko had those belts, his status would be everything. And they would use that to justify him not having to fight certain people. Same thing when Tio had the belts, when Max Kellerman said, Teofimo, you are the undisputed champion no matter what nobody says, and you don't have to fight this person if you don't want to, blah, 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 blah. Chris Maddox was interviewing Ryan Garcia after he fought Luke Campbell and told him, now that you got the WBC interim or intercontinental belt, you can write your own ticket. But Devin Haney had the WBC legitimate lightweight title, and he still had to prove this and prove that, and his belt didn't mean anything. How could the interim title mean more than the real WBC title or a franchise title who Lomachenko petitioned? Lomachenko petitioned the WBC for that belt, just like Canelo did. They petitioned for that belt so that they could avoid fighting the mandatories. And that's how Devin got the belt. And people have been disrespecting Devin Haney ever since he got that belt, calling him an email champion, this, that, and the third, and all that. That's why after he beat Kambosos, he said, well, now I'm the email champion, I'm the legitimate champion, the franchise champion, and undisputed. I'm everything now. So now what y'all gonna say about me? But the franchise title is a belt to help you avoid your mandatories. But nobody speaks about that, though. They don't look at the fighter as saying, now, can you imagine if Floyd Mayweather, at the height of his career, after he beat Oscar De La Hoya, if he had a petition for a franchise belt? And it didn't matter that they wasn't around then. They still were saying he was avoiding certain people anyway. Larry Merchant, who hated Floyd Mayweather, said he was a genius at avoiding prime competition, which is bullcrap. It's a bunch of bullshit. It's bullshit. That's what it is. But now Devin Haney is in that position, and you would figure because the belts is what make everybody is what made everybody want to come after you. Back then, when Sugar Ray Leonard, Marvin Hagler, Mike Tyson, all those guys, Muhammad Ali, when they fought, it was about being a champion. It was about having those bragging rights. But now, I guess being a champion don't mean anything. It's about how much money you can make. But back then, the champions were the ones who made the money. If you was a champion, you were in position, to set up the big fights and to get the lion's share of the money. But again, it's sad, what's happening, to Devin Haney now that he's the undisputed champion. But in this rematch with George Kambosos, it's not going to be no different. It's not. Devin is going to dominate him even more. And they may even stop the fight. Like I said, Devin may even stop him late in the fight. And at first, when Devin won the belts, he wanted to fight Lomachenko. Of course, Tio went up to 140. He didn't want to fight, even though I feel like that Tio and Devin would be a good fight. I would like to see them fight at 140. Because Tio gave a hell of a performance against Pedro Campa. And that Teofimo Lopez, George Kambosos wouldn't have beat. He wouldn't. So that's why Devin said he's going to see after this fight. Y'all saw the press conference for the rematch. He said he's going to see, how everything goes after this fight. And if he feel like he can still make the weight, he's going to do it. If not, he's going to go up to 140. Because at this point, I honestly feel like Devin don't even care no more. The fact that he's the undisputed champion. He don't even care no more. Because, he figured, all right, well, once I get all the belts, then what everybody going to say. And the respect is still not there. And that's sad. That's sad. He's the youngest undisputed champion in the 4-belt era. The youngest to do it. And if I'm not mistaken, the second to defend all the belts. Pernell Whitaker did it. And now he's doing it, defending all of the belts. And he will beat George Kambosos just as easy as he did in the first fight. George has one style. He can box, but he's a boxer, pressure fighter, come forward. And he's not going to do anything different. He's going to try to, cut the ring off, back Devin into the ring, and try to get off on him when Devin when Devin back is against the ropes. Devin going to keep, as long as he keep the fight in the middle of the ring, you know what I mean? And just, use his skill, use his angles, his footwork. It's going to be an easy fight. And some of the video footage I've seen of Devin training, it looked like he's working on some power shots. So like I said, it's possible he may even stop George late in the fight. But honestly, after this fight, listen, it's still obvious. Lomachenko does not want to fight Devin Haney. Period. It's obvious. Loma does not want to fight him. So that fight is not going to happen. He's not going to fight Tank. Yeah, I mean, and it's just the reality. As much as I would love to see these fights, it's not. Devin is not going to fight Tank. He's not going to fight Shakur Stevenson. He's not. He's not going to fight Ryan Garcia. Ryan don't want to fight. Ryan is the biggest pump faker in the division, in my opinion. Stay calling out people, and then next thing you know, he's off the radar. Or he doing something else to keep, to get it, to bring attention to himself. But I feel like Devin is going, he's going to beat Kambosos in this rematch, and then he's going to forfeit the belts, and he's going to go up. And when he goes up to 140, yes, his strength and his power will go with him, and he'll be even more effective at 140. But when he give those belts up and go up to 140, watch what happens. They're going to put those belts on Lomachenko. I'm telling y'all, they're going to put those belts on Lomachenko. And if y'all don't believe it, don't. But those of y'all who do, put the comments in the comment section below. Even if you don't believe it, drop the comments in the comment section below and let me know why y'all don't think that's going to happen. Because that's what they was trying to do in the first place. And that's why, like I said, in the rematch press conference, you had George Kambosos like, oh well, I gave him a shot. You know what I mean? Willingly, I gave him a shot. So You know, it's only fair that he do the same. You did not willingly give Devin Haney that shot at those belts. You didn't want. They tried to avoid him. And I said it when he beat Teofimo. I said they're going to try to avoid Devin and try to, you know, swing the fight in Loma's direction. And that's what they did. That's what they did. For some reason, everything in the lightweight division seems to center around Lomachenko. For some odd reason. And I don't understand why. Mr. 18-2 with 11 knockouts, who lost his second professional fight. Everything seems to center around him for some odd reason. I have no idea. Especially when you got guys like Shakur Stevenson and Gervonta Davis, who still don't get their recognition or just due either. Ryan Garcia knock somebody out. He gave a great performance. Shakur Stevenson do it. Oh, well, yeah, it was a good performance, but, I would have liked to see a little more from him. Same thing with Gervonta Davis. And don't dare say it's not true, because Loma fought Jose Pedraza, and so did Lomachenko, and Tank knocked him out. Loma went the distance. Loma fought Linares. Linares dropped him. He dropped Loma. Loma got up and finished the fight. But Linares stunned Devin Haney. And everybody made it seem like that was a sign of weakness. Like, oh, you see that? See what Linares did to him? But he dropped Loma, sat Loma on his ass, and nobody said nothing. Yo, man, Loma a beast. He got right back up from that. Linares didn't even put Devin down. Devin has never even been on the mat. And y'all criticized him. This favoritism stuff, man, got to stop. It has to stop, man. This favoritism stuff has to stop. And yes, Devin would beat Lomachenko if he fought Loma. Yes, Shakur Stevenson would beat Lomachenko if he fought him. Yes, Gervonta Davis would beat Lomachenko if he fought him. Yeah. Now, I know some of y'all talking about, oh, you tripping now. Oh, come on, man. Like, you was all right till you start saying that. No, it's a fact. It's a fact. Again, you understand boxing and these styles and how they do and don't translate in the ring. I'm telling you. They would beat Lomachenko, but nonetheless, those who love Loma, and Loma is a good fighter. Don't get me wrong. He is a good fighter, but he's not the it factor in the lightweight division. He's not. And that's how they try to make it seem like, okay, even though these other people are good, none of them is better than Loma. Loma is the greatest thing in the lightweight division. Like, he's the greatest lightweight to ever step in there. Stop. But Devin Haney, pure boxer. Pure boxer. Is going to dominate George Kambosos. He's going to dominate him. Even easier. This second fight is going to be even easier. And like I said, he may even stop him late in the fight. Only sad thing about it is after he do that, Devin more than likely is going to move up to 140. Only thing that can maybe entice him to stay down there is a fight with Loma or maybe Tank. That's the only thing that can entice him to stay down there. Other than that, he's going to go up to 140. And Tio's not going to want to fight him at 140. That's just the reality. And Teofimo, I really think, is he's a skilled, gifted boxer, man. Tio's good. Good in-ring performer, man. Good ring generalship. But some of these fighters are not as confident as they project their image to be when they on camera. And nobody says nothing when guys like Ryan Garcia avoiding people, Loma avoiding people. Nobody says anything about that, telling me like they need to step up and they need to do. Nobody says nothing about these guys. In fact, they get a pass and people say, oh, well, they got the right to pick and choose who they want. Or, no, it's so, or they ain't avoiding them. Or they'll just flat out be like, they not ducking them. And they'll say that, disrespect the other fighter and say they just not ready for them. Like, Lomachenko ducked Devin Haney. That's how Devin got the belt. He ducked him. And everybody said he didn't. He didn't duck Devin. He just gave the belt up because he didn't think Devin was worth fighting. No, Loman knew he was going to lose. He was going to lose. That's why he chose to fight Teo, because he thought Teo was an easier fight. And I said that time and time again. He chose Teo because he thought Teo was an easier fight, and he thought he would win. And he lost that one. So he knows now that if he fight Devin, then it'll be 3 losses. He'll be 18-3 with 11 KOs. So, I mean, come on, man. But anyway, Devin Haney, George Kambosos rematch. Y'all let me know what y'all think. How do y'all see this fight playing out? Y'all think Devin gonna stop him late, or y'all just figured Devin just gonna dominate the fight? Will this fight be easier? Will the rematch be easier for Devin, or will George Kambosos present a challenge in this rematch? My opinion, I don't see that happening. I don't see George presenting I don't see him doing anything different or too dissimilar from what he tried to do in the first fight. And I just think that Devin is going to be more quicker, more stronger. He's going to dominate him even more and possibly even stop him late in the fight. Drop the comments in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification button. And please donate to the channel if you can. All donations are appreciated. Appreciate y'all rocking with me. That's all I got. Until the next one.